How you doing, YouTube? Matt Massa Beer Reviews back with a little bit of hopeful double IPA goodness in the form of Foley Brothers Brewing. It is their Skeleton Crew double IPA. I believe this is my first Foley Brothers beer. I was actually confused. I opened up the box set this came from, courtesy of Tyler. Thank you very much. And I was like, ooh, Foley Brothers. I've always wanted something from these guys. And I go, wait a minute. Didn't I already have something from these guys from the beer mail? But I forget. I didn't look into it, so that's how that happens. This is pouring relatively clear, so I'm kind of excited about that. I mean, it's definitely going to be hazy in the glass, but yeah, I'm kind of digging it. First things first. I mean, that is not really an overly hazy beer. Sure, there's a subtle haze to it. A bit of that coming from the coldness. But I mean, in the grand scheme of things, especially with today's kind of double IPAs, definitely not super hazy. As far as this can goes, I dig it. It's metal. It's black with a little bit of silver accents floating around. It's kind of like a skull man. It's called a skeleton. Stirring a cauldron or something on the back. There's just like looks like hands holding a bunch of hops. Skull fingers. Skeleton fingers? Skull fingers. That sounds like a shitty song from some emo macabre band. I don't know. Words are coming out of my mouth. What else does it say actually on here? A Skeleton Crew is a double IPA, dry hopped with the most hops we dare to add to any beer. Foley Brothers Brewing. Even that kind of makes sense. Foley Brothers sounds like a mystery, kind of like one of those movies where it's like a national treasure, but with like a brother who's trying to solve shit. I don't know. This is a weird review. I'm off the rails completely. But I dig the can. I dig the label. And as far as the beer goes, I'm kind of excited because it's clear beer. Relatively clear beer. Clear beer by today's standards. Let's get a nose. Yeah, I mean, there's really not much to it. Soft citrus. A little bit of kind of crystally maltiness. Sweet. Sugary malt. A little bit of soft bittering. A little bit of soft grassy green bittering underneath that citrus. Done and done. It's neither sweet nor bitter. Really not overly impactful. You're talking about something that's coming in at 8.5. Smells more like 5% to me than anything else. Let's dive in. Cheers. I mean, it kind of drinks exactly the same way. I mean, there's really not much to it. That soft citrus is there. It's not neither sweet nor bitter. No, let me check that. It's more bittering than anything else, but it's not nearly as sweet as you would think it'd be. I mean, it drinks, like, again, way more closer to 5% than it would 8.5%. Bittering orange, a little bit of pithiness, a little bit of green, kind of weedy hop more than anything else. Pulling weeds, not smoking weedy hoppiness. It's not thin, but it's thin for an 8.5% double IPA. Done. I mean, this is really kind of secret sauce night bedtime juice is what this is. This drinks exactly like what a lot of breweries put out. Like mass-produced breweries try to put out like a 5.5%, 6% kind of pale ale, hoppy pale ale, or an IPA. This is kind of what this drink says, except it's 2% lower than what you expect it to be. Not necessarily a bad beer. Definitely comes off very old school, both in its looks and its sensibility, in that it actually is more kind of like a East Coast IPA with just a slight tweak of New Englandness, just very subtle, with a little dollop of West Coast IPA, and that's pretty much it. So that bittering's starting to morph a little bit more into kind of resonant dankiness, but it's not necessarily pine, and it ends up becoming a dry bittering beer. It drinks way below its weight class. I actually kind of really dig it. The only not for me, again, you know my soapbox. It just drinks way lower than its ABV. And I know I can get beers that taste just like this at like 5 to 6%. And that 8.5% just doesn't really make sense for this beer. So I enjoyed it. It's kind of fun, you know. I dig it. But in the grand scheme of things, it's kind of, it's the weird beer, especially in today's beer world. Even then, I'm kind of, I don't know if I'm excusing it or giving itself a way out, but you know, they're old school beers which are bringing to the table something I think are a little bit more kind of expressive, a little bit more kind of noteworthy than this. So let's talk about it. Is it one of the better double IPAs I've had as late? No. And that's the weird part about it, is that I still really enjoy it, and I'm really glad I got to try it. It's just, in the grand scheme of things, you're talking about 8.5% double IPA. it doesn't really tick any of the boxes you'd expect from old school to mid-old school to new school. Because it's giving me a lot of familiar flavors from the old, but it's just not giving me the impact that I'd like. Especially for its ABV. You call this 6%, and I think I'm on board. It's just that 8.5 just doesn't do it for me. Value and availability, no idea. Somebody up that way, Tyler or somebody else, chime in, let me know what's what, and leave you with if you like what we like this beer. If you like your IPAs to be old school with a tiny little dollop of new school, and you like them to be big, but drink really small, this is going to be your boy. Other than that, I mean, I dig this beer. I think it's fun, it's tasty, I like it. The only thing that I really like this beer to be is from the draft, because I actually want to see what this is like fresh, because I don't see a date in this can. This could be a little bit older of a beer. That could be why it's not nearly as expressive as I thought it would be, and it's drinking a little bit below its weight class, but at the same time, can's cool. The beer's kind of cool. It's just kind of, I don't know, something about it just misses the mark for me. So there you go. Another review in the books. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Down there if you want to talk about it. Massive Beers if you want to check me out doing the social media stuff. Beer Massive. If you want to check me out doing the whole podcasting thing. And hopefully you guys enjoyed the review. Hopefully enjoying a little Foley Brothers right now. Hopefully this one fresh. And hopefully see you next time. Cheers.